guys, what is going on? It's your boy JamesTheAce. I don't know who it is, the man, the myth, the legend. Welcome back to another video, and welcome back to the We Need to Talk About This series. Things have been going on behind the scenes. I'm here to keep you guys in the loop. There are some things that we need to talk about right now because in the midst of dev leaks for the spring update, right? Someone said something and then the dev said something back and basically alluded to something completely different, and everyone's like, bruh, are you serious? Listen, I'm gonna get into it, right? But you guys remember the poll that KingsL put out on their dev Twitter a while ago talking about what TCs you would want to see as trainable, right? And then the dev said that, you know, like whatever wins doesn't, it technically doesn't mean that we're gonna get that exact TC as trainable, enchantable, and everything that encompasses, right? It might be tweaked a little bit, or it might not be, you know, the exact same way as the TC version is, right? So basically what ended up happening is that today it is February 12th. I believe on the 11th, they posted a snippet of a video basically showcasing the new Thunderbird. They say goodbye to Thunderbird and hello to Thunderwing. And this spell crits, does 1,100 damage, so we can assume that it does 550 damage unenchanted, right? But instead of putting 30% hexes on the opponent, get this, it puts a galvanic on the caster. What? That is wild. So let's talk about this for a minute, right? Because at max, for the past couple of months, I would say, the big question is fire, or this is the school of fire with meta gear just a better storm? I mean, you have King Artorias that hits and stuns, you have overtimes, you have utilities like detonate that can literally, you know, basically buff your overtimes if the opponent isn't careful. Although the strategy is not very popular in PvP, you still have these things, as well as burst damage cards, right? And then storm, you know, you stun block, storm lets out of the question. You know, King Artorias is basically unusable past the point where you get a shadow pip. So max PvP, you don't really see King Artorias, right? That's more of a level 90 type of PvP thing, right? So pretty much all your cards are either like super powerful high burst damage, and if the opponent shields, you're basically having to strike, or you're having to find some way to get off that shield, like bolt or something. So I think most people would say that this is a good thing because Storm doesn't really have any good low pip hits or mid-range pip hits aside from shadow pip hits, right? And to my knowledge, Storm doesn't really use the new caramel spell all that much from what I've been seeing. It's mainly just Rusalka, maybe, you know, Storm Owl if they get to that high of pips, or I mean at that point you might as well just try to go for a Scion play, right? But if you can't, then I think some Storms do carry Storm Owl. But a 5 pip hit, you know, that's a mid-range pip hit if you don't have a shadow pip, to basically take off a shield and then basically apply a 4-round 25% buff, right? Now most people are thinking, you know, this is actually pretty good because the only school you wouldn't use this against is technically balanced, right? But get this, someone actually replied to the dev Twitter saying laughs in Supernova, the spell that basically pops an aura if somebody has it on. I'll go ahead and pull it up. Supernova, 2 pips, balance spell, destroys target aura, dealing 535 damage, right? Now, you would think, you know, with Mana Burn being nerfed, this is the only other thing that is keeping balance in the meta besides balance having a bubble, which was kind of unwarranted because balance didn't really need a bubble. But with the Lore Master nerf, I guess you might be able to argue, okay, balance might need a bubble to stay competitive with the rest of the schools. You know, Ice, Fire, Myth, especially Myth at max is ridiculous. The devs retorted basically along the lines of something like laughs in knowing the card audit update ahead of time, right? Basically is what they said. So we just got confirmation that balance is yet again getting nerfed. You cannot make this stuff up. What? In the devs' eyes, right? Because I do like to put myself in their shoes and try to explain to you, the viewer, why the devs might be making the decisions that they are making, even though the player base might not technically agree, but, you know, it goes with the graphs of what the devs are trying to, you know, recalculate the game to, etc., right? So if I'm a dev and I'm looking at Supernova, I'm thinking, okay, it's 2 pips, right? And it destroys an enemy aura. So if the enemy's pet auras, or they aura, not knowing that they're facing a balance, you're basically taking about 1k damage or more. You know, Rat's Law, you're going to critical. So you're taking about 1.7 to the face, if that, with decent stats, right? So you're thinking, okay, 2 pips, destroys an aura. But why is Supernova dealing 1.7 damage for 2 pips? Right? So they're taking their phone and they're going, okay, so card audit update, right? We're auditing all the cards. By the way, if you don't already know, according to my last conversation with Ratbeard, every card in the game, I would assume, usable by the wizard, is getting audited. So this means Pet Ifrit. This means, you know, Robe Ifrit from Tartarus. This means Vengeful Seraph. All these cards and more that I did not already state, because that was the premise of the conversation, me bringing up Pet Ifrit, Card Ifrit, Vengeful Seraph. He didn't necessarily say that the cards are going to get changed, but every card is going to get looked at and audited, right? So I just want to relay that bit of information. So basically the devs are taking their phones and they're going, all right, so let's do this damage per pip calculation per utility, whatever mumbo jumbo. They're going, okay, so 2 pips, right? 500 damage, carry the 2, and then their pet may cast, and then I crit the Supernova and then carry the Rat's Law, and then 1.7 billion damage. And so Supernova is basically going to have one of 2 things happen to it. As far as I can see right now, I'm not a dev, I'm not telling you that this is fact, right? But take whatever I say with a grain of salt. It's either going to go down in damage, or it is simply going to cost more pips. That is my best guess as a player. The only possible third route that I can see this going is the utility changes somewhat. I think it's going to stay aura based, but it's just not going to be as powerful as maybe destroying the person's aura. It might take away rounds from their aura, you know, at best, maybe. But I really hope that doesn't happen, because it is a very situational card, and at max, it's really not that useful unless the opponent is literally just spamming aura because of their pet or something like that, right? So I really hope balance just doesn't get nerfed into the ground, and the card that we do get that was a TC that becomes trainable doesn't really make up for the fact that we lost one of our best utilities, considering Mana Burn already got nerfed, right? It was kind of OP, yeah, but in its state right now, it's really not even that much better. It's still spammed in PvP for, like, you know, match control, but it's just not as good of a card as it once was. So another thing that we can go ahead and look at from this leak video from the devs is that there is a new icon up in the upper right hand corner that basically people are pointing fingers at, thinking that it is the new clan chat icon. I have no clue what this is. The devs have yet to speak on this. I'm not even sure if they knew themselves that putting out this video would kind of leak that icon, and then players would start speculating maybe that was the point. But this spring update, I am going to assume, is going to be pretty huge for PvE and PvP respectively. And the devs might be working, you know, more on this update than I thought, considering that whatever this new icon is has to be significant. There is nothing like that in the game. There's like group chats, right? Like you can invite your friend to a group, but this icon is completely different than the icon that we see in the dev leak. So clan chat potentially in beta? So with all that being said, please keep in mind that this is only snippet 1. I'm not really sure if they're going to have more snippets, but if they do end up leaking more on their dev Twitter, best believe that I'm going to be keeping you guys in the loop. If you do want me to keep you in the loop, please drop a like on this video. Also drop a like if you guys want to see more face cam videos, because I feel like it's more interaction, more memes, better editing, you know what I'm saying? So if you guys are feeling the face cam, right? The face, Let me know, slap a like on the video. And if you're watching and you are not subscribed, or you're new, or you're brand new, right? Either way, you're not subscribed, fix it. Subscribe, right? It's completely free. And you can always decide to unsubscribe later at no cost to you, know what I'm saying? So with all that being said, Dev Leak 1 is pretty big. It is blowing up on Twitter. A lot of people are speculating whether it's going to be good or bad. Let me know what you think about these updates and what we have available to us via, you know, Dev Leak number 1. There might be more in the future. In the comment section below, let me know what you guys think. Let's have a healthy discussion on what we think balance being nerfed means, what we think Storm Wing means for Max Storm, for low level Storm respectively. I really hope they don't pull, you know, a Gobbler move, because Gobbler is trainable in the Arcanum, but only for level 100 Myth. I really hope they don't do that, because yeah, that's good for max PvP, but I mean, unless you're breaching level 100, you're not really gonna be able to use these new spells. So I really hope they don't pull a Gobbler on us with these new trainable TCs. That's just my hope, because I want to be able to use this at lower levels respectively, you know what I mean? But we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Again, if you enjoyed, slap a like on the video. If you want to see more face cam, slap a like on the video. If you're brand new or want to keep up to date in the loop whenever stuff goes live, subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!